And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35
Bro, I'm dangerous with this sniper.
Yeah, me too. What sniper you using? The LR jump?
Yep, LR.
Yeah, that bitch hit. That bitch hitting.
That's caught. It's Flowers. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. And they get 17 more on that one and another first down.
Nigga sleep on that hole.
Now it's Jackson. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now a 2nd and 10.
I don't know where the fuck my other teammates are dropping.
It's Jackson rolling to his right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
Well, that's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson on the move to his left. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Play action. Now Jackson. Looking deep here for Flowers. And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Zay Flowers, 50 yards. And the Ravens are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag. Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Jackson to throw. That's into a crowd and intercepted. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Well, the way things have been going to this one, Charles, it was only a matter of time before this defense got involved and made a big play. And they do right there. Gosh, this lead is so large, CD, and we're only in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's so amazing about it. You mentioned this large lead. How's this?
Hey, bro, I'm beating Brad 20-0.
What a spectacular run it was.
Showing Madden.
Yeah.
Showing the true dominance, and you're exactly right.
I'm on that war zone right now.
And a pretty poor kick here. It doesn't make it to the landing zone. And that means he'll move the ball out to the 40-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll set up a throw. Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. And all the way down to the 10-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. And even 50 yards. Jackson. They'll roll him out right. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Oh, design run for their wideout. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Rashad Bateman, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens are able to cut into that deficit. This feels like something we'd see more commonly, CD, in a college game. They give it to the receiver down here in the red zone, but it winds up successful.
Yeah, partner, I think you'd think it's less likely to find running space to the edge down here close to the end zone where things are so condensed. But a lot of times you end up focusing on the running backs, and they're able to slip it to the receiver, and it resulted in a touchdown.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The tackle going to be right there at the 25-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Running from the gun with Henry. And he'll go down after losing yardage at the 10. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. Boy, a tough spot here as they approach the line of scrimmage. A long way to go to try to pick up this first down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
4th down, here's Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. As he throws, and this is going to be incomplete.
I fought up.
Surprising move to go for it, predictably, at least somewhat predictably. It doesn't pay off. And now, goodness, possession's going to go over right at the 10-yard line. They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Now Jackson. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Incomplete on the deep ball.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Ravens are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line.
As they started that drive, I think they looked at the scoreboard and said, this is a manageable deficit, guys, but let's go ahead and start cutting it down right here. Instead, an interception happened, so a 2-possession game might become 3. So as we get going here in the second half, this could rapidly reach the point where there isn't enough time left for a comeback if their defense doesn't bail them out.
Yeah, he'll work.
Use a slipper right now, babe.
But that's about all as he's taken down. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now it's Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Henry running right. And he's out right at the 25. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down.
You see my text about Friday when we were over?
They'll run it again with Henry. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
What are you doing?
If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen the margin, too.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Final minute now in the 3rd quarter.
Like one person's gonna be unscoring the lids off
to throw is Jackson.
Off the water bottle.
They're looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. And a huge return as he'll take this.
Just use a slipper. They feel the exact same. The slipper is more pain.
You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job.
Burger should. Burger should be done.
After the interception,
it looked kind of done.
That shit ain't nothing, bro. That shit ain't nothing, bro.
Still a little tough.
And the Ravens are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute.
Turn that bitch up, son.
That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side.
I'm gonna sit in about 15 more minutes. It should be done.
But sometimes that binds you up so much and you try too hard to get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Jackson and the Ravens still on the field. They'll go for 2. They'll try and run it in with Henry. And he will get into the end zone, and a 2-point conversion will cut this down to a 6-point game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Set at the line for this next drive. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. He dumps it off for Henry. Broke a tackle, but not much room there ultimately. Just up past the 25 and no further. So the completion good for just 3. And it's 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Before they can snap it, time runs out on this third quarter of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Ball at the 26, 2nd and 7.
They'll try and choose some clock with him.
Man, what?
Lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. Here's Jackson. They're looking deep here for Flowers. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. A seismic shift in momentum here in the fourth quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
Well, now they'll try the end around. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
But not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
And that one going to come up short. Low throw. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And the pressure gets there. He'll go down. It's a sack. And it is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning.
Kyle Van Noy in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. Here we go. This is 4th down. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. That is caught. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout. 4th down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens have just about sewn up this football game.
When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that, because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line.
So when your team leading in the fourth quarter, you know you've got to run the football. They know you've got to run the football. Sometimes that means there's nowhere to run the football.
That is intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith.
And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Oh my, how the tables have turned now. They were trying to salt this one away, but that interception, potentially a game changer.
And I've just got to think to myself, at this point of the game, I know you've been aggressive. I know that's your MO, and that's fine. And all those teams that talk about all gas, no brakes, you better have the emergency lever to pull occasionally. They could have used it right there. They put themselves in the tough spot with that interception.
He'll get this to Flowers, left side. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop it behind the line. And a little bit of an unconventional call there.
Yeah, but it worked. And how great was that? That's got to give them a lift in this situation.
Jackson to throw. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down. They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Now Jackson. Yeah, he's got it. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. No choice but to go. Here's fourth down now. Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown. And now they're an extra point away from winning this thing in the final seconds.
Well, that's the one they had to have. Put them in a position where they're tied up, but I got to get out of the way. We still got an extra point that's pretty crucial.
That's right. Just one more element to complete the victory. Now a big play here as the Ravens are going to go for the two-point conversion. They'll try and run it in. And he's going to get in for the two. So a crazy call, but they've got their two-point lead in the closing stages. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Throwing, Jackson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Probably time for 2 more shots, and ideally, they'd like to get to midfield or so they have a chance at a Hail Mary on the final play.
Here's 2nd down. Here's Jackson. He's going to let it fly. And it's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Maybe looking for a flag, but they're not going to get one there. They took a shot, hoping to find a way to sneak into field goal range, but it's incomplete. And now with time almost gone, the task gets much more difficult.
One last shot for Jackson. He's going to try and go deep again. This ball intercepted. Picked up by Brandon Stevens. And the Ravens are going to hang on the final play, they get the turnover to seal this football game. Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.
Yeah, I thought it all.
Check us out at EASports.com.
Wait, we just won? What? Yo.
We say so long.
No, we lost. That's a crazy way to kill somebody, run them over with a car.
Don't go over
I know my team was snatching name tags, boy.